Freakiest fish on Earth. Hey everyone, it's Lexa again and welcome back to another video. Get ready never to want to swim in anything aside from a pool until the end of time. Here we've gathered some of the creepier dwellers of the underwater worlds of our planet's oceans, seas, and other life-sustaining bodies of water. Prepare yourself for the freakiest fish on Earth. But before we get into today's video, make sure that you're subscribed and ring the bell so that you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Pelican eel. We'll kick things off with this strange-looking eel that dwells in the depths of tropical and temperate areas of oceans around the world. It's a bit freaky, what with its gigantic mouth and all. The mouth is even larger than the body, and it can be opened super wide to swallow things even bigger than the eel itself, if it wanted to. That's because the mouth is relatively loosely hinged as the lower jaw attaches at the bottom of the head and has nothing behind it to stop its swing. And that's why pelican eels are also called gulper eels. We humans rarely get to see them as they live so deep below the water, between 1,600 and 9,800 feet below the surface. But they do occasionally get caught up in fishermen's nets. Northern stargazer. These chunky little critters can be found on the Atlantic coast from New York down to North Carolina. They aren't too big and can grow to be just 22 inches in length, but they do look a bit hefty. The northern stargazer hangs out right around 120 feet below the surface and enjoys burrowing in the sand in order to camouflage itself to ambush unsuspecting prey. This works well as they have flat foreheads and their eyes sit above the sand so they can see what's going on above them instead of just in front or on the sides. There are electrical organs situated on top of the fish that can produce an electric shock to aid in disabling prey or to ward off predators. They're strange and live an unusual lifestyle, and we have even more stranger fish to come. Giant squid. The giant squid was described as long ago as the 4th century BC by Aristotle, who made clear that he was not talking about an ordinary squid, but definitely something else. In the 1st century AD, Pliny the Elder too wrote about the giant squid, calling its head as big as a cask. Many legends and tales have been swapped amongst mariners since a long time ago, and it's now believed that real giant squid probably had a hand in these stories, including that of the kraken. Although these sea animals tend to get stuck on seashores and have for centuries, they remained almost mythical until recently. They are known to be extremely elusive in the wild, and the first time a live squid was ever caught on camera was in 2001, and it was just a baby. Then the first adult was photographed in 2002. In 2004, a fishing trawler caught a giant squid near the Falkland Islands and was then sent to London's Natural History Museum for study. Scientists gleaned that females max out at about 43 feet in length and males at 33. But they also believe there could be larger ones out there. These bad boys are estimated to weigh between 330 and 600 pounds. And if you're not freaked out yet, just wait, there's more. Fangtooth. These fish with the scary name live in the depths of cold, temperate, and tropical waters around the globe, and their name comes directly from, their appearance. They have huge, disproportionate fang-like teeth, but we don't really have to worry about them, as the larger of the two species of fangtooths only grow to be a max of 6.3 inches. They've got large jaws, small eyes, large teeth, little fins, and strange, mucousy faces, and one would probably call them ugly, although their unique construction allows them to dwell at the depths that they do. They've been found as deep as 16,000 feet below the ocean's surface and feed on things such as zooplankton, squid, and other fish. Frilled shark. The frilled shark has a very distinct appearance and can be found across the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, but their distribution is very patchy. It usually hangs out near the bottom of the continental shelf near the top of the continental slope and normally stays above 3,900 feet, although the frilled shark has been caught as low as 5,100. They have long, eel-like bodies, powerful jaws, 300 teeth in 25 rows, and can measure up to 6.5 feet in length, and are often compared to the sea serpent of myth. It's been called a living fossil by many as they display many primitive characteristics and have ancient ancestry. Their ancestors date back to at least the late Cretaceous period, if not the late Jurassic, making the frilled shark a part of one of the oldest, still extant shark lineages. But the frilled shark we know today is a relatively new species, as the oldest fossil we've got dates back to the early Pleistocene epoch. Giant isopod. Giant isopods are a part of the genus Tsunamis, and there are nearly 20 different species of large isopod that can be considered giant. These guys are distantly related to several crustaceans in the decapod order, including crabs and shrimp, although they are their own genera-type that is based on the Tsunamis giganteus. You may think that these look something like you've seen. You know, those little bugs that every child likes. We're talking about roly-polies, pillbugs, woodlouses, or whatever else you call them, which makes sense because they are relatives. There are even two species of giant isopods, the giants and the supergiants. Giants typically range from 3 to 5 inches in length, whereas supergiants grow to between 6 and 19 inches in length. They live in the West Atlantic Ocean and have been found in the Caribbean, the Gulf of Mexico, Brazil, off the coast of Georgia, USA, and in Australia. Black swallower. This fish sounds a lot scarier and more dangerous than it is, but it can swallow a fish that is bigger than itself whole, so we guess that it may be a bit freaky. Black swallowers max out at 9.8 inches in length, so they're not that bad. They also have scales and come in a uniform black-brown color, hence the black in the name. The black swallower also has a greatly distensible stomach, which is what allows for it to swallow such large prey without choking, and it's where the other half of its name comes from. They live all over the world in subtropical and tropical waters, although most of their babies are born in the waters off of South Africa and in the North Atlantic. They are the most abundant species of their genus. Frogfish. Frogfishes are a family of anglerfish, and they live in basically all of the Earth's subtropical and tropical oceans and seas. They're reasonably little fish that measure between 0.98 and 14 inches in length and look stocky because of their, fullness and high arching backs. Their chubby little bodies are most often rough and bumpy, and the striated frogfish has the added advantage of looking kind of like a plant because of its long dermal spinules. Frogfish come in all kinds of colors like green, yellow, black, white, red, or even spotted. They camouflage quite well, as some are born looking like sea sponges, stones, coral, and other features of an ocean environment. The frogfish is an odd little animal, and it definitely earned a spot on this list. Stonefishes. Stonefishes are found in the Indo-Pacific's coastal regions. They are some of the more poisonous fish that we know about, and their venom can be lethal to humans. Their stings really hurt too, and those who get stung must get the anti-venom or risk death. Out of all the wild creatures that call the beautiful land of Australia home, the anti-venom for stonefish stings is the second most administered anti-venom in the country. They don't typically sting on purpose. Humans just don't usually see them as they look like rocks. It's called the stonefish because of its mottled camouflage that makes it look just like a stone on the bottom of the ocean, where it likes to call home. So they get stepped on, and envenomation happens mostly on accident. Ouch. Worm goby. These fish are extremely rare as they're mud dwellers and are not often seen by human eyes. The worm, or eel goby, is a subfamily within a giant family of fish with more than 2,000 different species in it. This particular goby is known to grow up around 20 inches in length and have teeth like razors, and some have no eyes whatsoever. With them being so rare, we don't know much about them, but we figured you should probably at least see this bizarre blind fish for yourself. Atlantic wolffish. Oh man, this critter is also known as ocean catfish, Atlantic catfish, wolf eel, sea wolf, devilfish, sea cat, and woof. The Atlantic wolffish typically lives between 66 and 1,600 feet beneath the ocean surface and can be found in both the East and West Atlantic, typically in the north. They produce a natural antifreeze, which allows them to dwell at low temperatures when needed, and they're generally found in waters between 30 and 52 degrees Fahrenheit. These fish have crazy faces and crazy teeth, a few molars, some fangs, and some serrated teeth that can also be found in the animal's throat. It's a bit more than strange looking and could definitely use a dentist. But wait, there's more. Goblin shark. These rare deep-sea sharks look like catching one giant shark right in the middle of eating another. Its snout is very elongated and flattened, and its jaws are protrusible, allowing the shark to reach them out almost to the end of its snout. The goblin shark has some small, flat rear teeth for crushing things, but what you really see when you look at the shark is all of its other nail-like teeth. They like to live lower than 350 feet below the ocean surface around seamounts, submarine canyons, and the upper parts of continental slopes. The goblin shark serves as the only remaining representative of its family, and is often called a living fossil because its lineage stretches back some 125 million years. They're odd, they're ugly, and they're old. This is the perfect list for them. Okay, we've seen some truly strange fish so far, and we still have one more to go, but first, we want to ask you, What's your favorite kind of fish? To catch, to eat, to look at, to own? Let us know in the comments below. 1. Anglerfish. Speaking of ugly, here we've got the anglerfish. If you're wondering how it got its name, just take a look at that thing dangling in front of its face. That is the esca. It's also known as the elysium, and it's a fleshy growth female anglerfish have. The esca contains bacteria with which the anglerfish has a symbiotic relationship. As neither the fish nor the bacteria can achieve luminescence on its own, there are some that live on the continental shelf and others that live far beneath the ocean's surface in the deep sea. The anglerfish can extend its mouth so wide that it can eat other sea animals up to twice its own size, which it lures in with its esca and then devours whole. It's a crazy fish in a crazy world.